Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We got Sacrifice for you. Hell, here's a question. Did Sacrifice to you felt like a really great pay-per-view? Or did it leave you a lot of questions? That's the way I felt. Dude, when I look at Sacrifice, a couple of matches really give me a what if. What now? What if this happened? What now is going to happen? And that's not a good what now. Opening of the show. We got a 2 out of 3 fall and a no DQ. Why? Someone in the back must have thought that this was wise to do. Now, at certain points during the match, it wasn't bad at all. And the Orlando crowd, to an extent, was actually uplifting. Because most of these matches were not all great. But they did try. The crowd did give me some interest in this pay-per-view. I still don't understand what was the point of making a 2 out of 3 handicap match. What was the point of putting Zema Ion in there? Why? And then putting it as a no DQ. They're handing a note over to the sexy Krista Hemme, and MVP now makes this a no disqualification. I felt this was not necessary. It could have been a straight, ordinary match where they barred Zema Ion from ringside and could have done this. This is just me. The Wolves did a good showing. They did. Bromance was just bromance. Zema Ion was just Zema Ion. It sucked. And the Wolves now won. But what now? We're going to have the same thing over and over and over. They're going to actually lose their tag belts in a couple of months or a couple of weeks. And then they're going to have to fight up against Bromance again to get it back. I have a bad feeling about this. I have a feeling they're going to make the Wolves lose their titles quickly to throw it back on the Bromance because they want to keep this feud going because there's nothing else for them to do. Now another match that is, well, what now? Or what if? Sonata versus Tigre Uno. Now the problem I have with Sonata is that he's from Wrestle 1. And I don't know why TNA promoted Wrestle 1 so much in the very beginning, but then does absolutely nothing with them later. Now, of course, it doesn't mean they're actually under contract. But it would have been nice to continue talking about Wrestle 1, show something from Japan more often. He fought Christopher Daniels in Japan, supposedly. We didn't see it. That's the reason why I would have loved to see something like that. WWE does a Raw Rewind once in a while. I mean, all the time. What am I talking about? On SmackDown, they do Raw Rewinds. As far as I know, they still do it. Once in a while, maybe once a month, we get a rewind in another venue. 5 minutes. 2 minutes. We let us see something else that would go with a character that would really help them. Sonata winning against Christopher Daniels in Japan would have been nice to see. Even if it was 30 seconds. Now the video package for Sonata for the last couple of weeks have been very good. We don't get video packages for the X Division. 0. The problem I see is this. 2. 1. Tigre Uno didn't get any video packages. I know he's like a manic, but still, it would have given us more into this best of 3 series. And now, after a very good match, where Tigre Uno did some very good wrestling. He did a really good pile driver, a really good submission, and some decent work in the ring. I would have liked to get some video packages from him talking about how he loves Mexico and Mexico wrestling's on the line here. It would have been nice to see that, but we didn't get that. So what happens now? Kenny King goes after the title, where Kenny King is not even promoted properly. I see Sonata going into the main event. I really believe that they could put him in there. Yes, maybe he needs to learn some more English if he doesn't already know it. But he really could go in there. Kenny King should go in there. We have almost nothing for the X Division to do. And we need more new blood in the main event. But I doubt we're going to see that. We're just going to see another dull X Division match. Not saying the guys are bad. I'm just saying that they got no feuds. This best of 3 only worked because Sonata had video packages. You get my point? Now, Madison Rayne versus Angelina Love. I have to do it. It was a decent match. A little better than what usually Madison Rayne gives. And Madison Rayne doesn't do great in the ring. And I've always said this. Anybody who gets in that ring, I respect them. But I have to still see their ability in the ring to go with it. Madison Rayne is a very generic knockout. She's not that great. I have to admit, as a heel, she's not that good. As a face, she's slightly better. Slightly better. Now, I'm no Madison Rayne lover at all. But I have to say that she did at least a little bit more better than she normally does. Angelina Love, you loved Angelina. But really, no one really won here. Even though Angelina won the title, and she did win because of hairspray. Hairspray. That looks like an old reused can from Zima Ion. That's the size of it. I'm sorry, that's Zima Ion's can. What now? What do we get? We have to have a fight between Angelina and Madison Rayne again. My hope, or what if, let Madison Rayne deal with Brittany in a way that is similar to a Trish Stratus and a Mickie Jane. Yes, this is stretching it. Please, don't kill me for this. But see it in my respect. I want to see something different from TNA. If Russo is still there and he starts promoting the women's division, Russo, please, let a Brittany have a crush on a Madison Rayne. Yes, I know this is stretching. It would be better if it was Angelina Love. It would be better maybe with a Velvet Sky. But it makes sense what they've already built. Saying that Brittany idolizes a Madison Rayne. Let her have a crush on her. Let her want to fuck her. I'm sorry for the cursing, but you get my point. Let her want her. A creepy, crazy lesbian woman wants her. It would give us something 100% different that we have not seen in years. We thought Angelina Love and Willow was going there, but they never went there. Let it happen with Madison Rayne and Brittany. Brittany would be able to gain something from it. That's my hope. Now, the match I did enjoy. I did enjoy this match. EC3 and Rockstar Spud versus Willow and Angle. It was a funny match. At least parts of it were quite funny. I enjoyed it in that respect, that it was somewhat comedic. Rockstar Spud is still an untapped potential. I love Rockstar Spud. What he did in the ring with Willow. At one point, Willow beat his ass up, and then at one point, he's going like this, and he just goes, I'm sorry. It's an old thing that has been done so many times, but it was still funny with Rockstar Spud. The crowd wants to chant for Rockstar Spud. They want to pop for him because he's a comedian. He is like a very early form of an Eric Young. He could be the next Eric Young. Eric, you can say whatever you want about him. But whatever stupid gimmick they've given him, the crowd still loved him for it. Rockstar Spud has character that can easily get over as a comedian. This would work. In the end, it was Rockstar Spud, if I remember correctly, who did the job for Willow. I'm alright with this. We still have something that's going to go on with Angle and EC3, and hopefully EC3 will finally get over on Angle the right way. And he is the 1%er. You cannot pin the 1%er so quickly. Kurt Angle, you must do it at a Slammiversary. You must do it at that major pay-per-view. You must do it. You must give up your shit and give it to EC3. Had to do it, baby. Alright. The match, I believe that was the match of the night. Storm and Gunnar, last man standing. No, not last man standing. That is Bully Ray and Robert Roode. My mistake. I quit. It kind of felt like a last man standing at one point. It did to me. But it was an I quit match. It was actually a very good match. Gunnar screaming, never, never, never. What the fuck? Usually guys don't go that far when they're trying to do an I quit match. Gunnar's not one of the greatest actors. But he did get put over very well by Storm. And I have to say that Storm looked very good as a heel. He did. He looked very good. But here's the problem. Storm is not the top heel. But he should be. One of the top heels. At this moment, working with Gunnar, you could say he is. But he's really not. Gunnar is not a very strong talent yet. He's still building up. So that doesn't really give him great credibility as a heel. Not an evil heel. A demented one, no. A bad heel, yes. And there's the problem, because you can hear throughout the night people are chanting beer money. Of course people want beer money back. But they should have focused more on Storm. But he just isn't strong enough of a heel. He just isn't. If this was somebody with an AJ Styles being extremely evil, it would be something. With Angle, that would have been something interesting. Kurt Angle versus Storm in a really bad feud. That would truly bring out the evil in him. But now, what now? Storm has been beaten again by Gunnar. So where do they go by this? I believe their feud will end by Slammiversary. That would be the best time to end it. Hopefully Storm will get enough out of Gunnar to be more credible in the main event. Now, the match that wasn't that great. It was interesting though. Anderson and Shaw. A funny farm match. A paddy wagon match. What do they call it? A paddy wagon match. I don't know. No, that was a committed match. I'm sorry. You see how many names I had to go through because I couldn't remember it and I wasn't 100% interested. I think maybe it's because even though they did some good work with video promos of the battles between each other, I guess the problem I have is this. Where are they going to take Shaw next? That's the reason why I'm having a problem here. Shaw is a demented heel. He's not an evil or destructive or sadistic totally. He's a demented one. The problem I see is where they're going to take him next. Who is he going after? Because that's what the problem is. Shaw has the great potential to be a very good heel. But they got to put him with the next person. They dragged this out with Anderson enough. I also believe that this is going to end at Slammiversary. But they got to find the right person to put him with. If they don't, we're going to have one serious problem with a very good character that's not going to have nothing to do. That's my feeling. Now, Nux and Rebel, their segment in the car. I'm looking forward to seeing Rebel. I think her name was Ashley, or I don't know what her name was. I don't give a damn. She looks good. She's coming. That's another knockout that's going to be in our division. But my question is this. Who do you believe the Freak and Crazy Steve is? I am 100% hoping it's not Garrett and Wes Bischoff. I'm not looking forward to seeing these guys come back if those are the ones we're talking about here. You could say, well, maybe they worked on the character. I don't think so. But I'm hoping it'll be two different guys that we've not seen in TNA that I'm hoping maybe that came up from ROH. Maybe there could be WWE guys that just couldn't make it. But maybe we'll make it here. They're probably from NXT. You never know. Now, Bully Ray and Robert Roode, their tables match. You see, I have one problem with this. There was nothing that was going to be lost here. It was a standard tables match. And this is what I think the problem was. You see, nothing was on the line here. Nothing was at stake. And I believe that's the problem here for me. You guys can tell me below, did anything needed to be at stake here? Because I really believe something really needed to be at stake for this tables match. Maybe Bully Ray being known as the king of tables? Maybe Bully Ray's job or something like that? Maybe the money Bully Ray took had to be on the line. Something had to be on the line. And I just, because there was nothing there, it just felt like an average match. It just did. Even though Dixie Carter came in dressed up as a guy, which she doesn't look good in men's clothes. I'm sorry. Maybe it's because they were wearing something, she was wearing something really bulky under her clothes. She just doesn't look good in men's clothes. She just doesn't. But she screws over Bully Ray. But what now? If this had a consequence to it, if there was something on the line here, I still wouldn't mind too much of this going forward. But now there's nothing there at all. And I just don't care. And I love Bully Ray as an ECW guy. He's not that bad. I love Robert Roode as the it factor of professional wrestling. He has great potential of being the head heel if he has something to do. And I just don't see it here. And that's what we got. Finally, Young and Magnus, their match. Now, I'm not saying the match wasn't good. It actually was. Young and Magnus did a great job. Eli did a good job. Magnus did a good job. But the problem I have here is this. Eric Young is your heavyweight champion. The only person they had that was somewhat credible, supposedly, is Magnus. Now he's beaten Magnus. Magnus is going to have a problem with Eric Young and Abyss. So who is the next opponent for Eric Young? I'm actually very glad to see Eric Young. The video package before the match itself was really good, showing how he was in Team Canada, how he was, I think, Super Eric, and all the other stuff in between. The time when he was almost fired, I had heard about it, but I'd never seen it. I honestly believe that Eric Young has the potential to be a great main eventer. He does. Whatever they give him, that is shit. He's made something out of it. And this is well before Daniel Bryan. He grew his beard well before Daniel Bryan did. I'm sorry, he did. If everyone keeps thinking this is still a Daniel Bryan bite-off, to a certain extent, it is. But let's be honest here. He has the credentials to be a great champion. He does. He's shown it in the past. But my problem is what's going on into the future. What now? I mean, you can only go with Magnus and Abyss dealing with Eric Young for so long. Unless you're going to make him a total idiot again, you got to pick the next person. Maybe it's Robert Roode. Maybe it's James Storm. It's got to be someone next. If you don't, what was the point of putting it on him? Well, I can say simply, you could do it for more than a few reasons. One, he's been there for at least 10 years. I mean, he's been there for 10 years. I'm not saying 10, 12. You see, I'm thinking about Dixie Carter because she irks me. Those clothes don't look good on her, and that was just, what now? But you get my point. What now for Eric Young? I really do hope by Slammiversary he'll have a feud with someone new. I really do. Because this could be compelling television. Someone we have not seen in the main event. So how do I feel about this show? Look, the Storm and Gunnar feud could still go on to Slammiversary easily. And it's a good match it had. Magnus and Eric Young was a good match. Sonata and Tigua Uno was also a good match. But I have a lot of what nows. I really hope that show is something good. And I hope you enjoyed this review of Sacrifice 2014. Please give me a comment below on what you feel about this pay-per-view. And I'll be getting my Raw out as soon as possible. Peace out!